right? If he's a follower of Islam, then he has to abide by what Muhammad has brought. And Muhammad's message is, of course, in the Hadith and in the Sirah. Now, even more so, if we examine Islamic law, we start to see very, very clearly that Islamic law is predicated on the marriage of adult males with infants. And of course, even with underage boys with adult women. And they certainly speak of infant children, young girls underage having to wait to see if they've fallen pregnant before they can be divorced, girls being divorced before pregnancy, young girls being non-virgins. We're talking underage girls, and we can go through the actual Islamic law and we can see for ourselves how Muhammad's example, his sunnah, has now been incorporated into actual Islamic law. So we can examine the Hanafi fiqh and we can examine the Shafi'i fiqh, just as two examples, because these are the two best textbooks available. These are the two most common Islamic law texts. If anyone disputes that, they're welcome to let me know which.
Before we go into these things, I'd like you to define the word fiqh. But before you even do that, I just wanted to ask you a simple, straightforward question: is that Muslims say that Aisha was physically mature before Muhammad consummated the marriage. Is this true? Was she, when he consummated the marriage, when he had sex with her?
They say she was an adult. Well, legally in Islam, technically,
yes.
According to, now the age does vary slightly, but generally according to Islamic law, puberty is reached at the age of 15. There are references within other schools of fiqh where 18 is their age. However, 15, so if she was 9, she was well under the age of 15. Now, there are many claims that say that a child of such an age can reach puberty, and they do claim that all girls, of course, because, first of all, it is illegal for a Muslim to criticize Muhammad. It is ridda, it is blasphemy. For a Muslim to criticize Muhammad under Sharia law, that is the penalty of death. Also, of course, Allah will punish you.
There's a book on that, isn't it, by Ibn Taymiyyah, the Unsheathed Sword.
Yeah, okay, I'll briefly run through that then. So this is the book here, I'm showing it right now on the screen, the summary of the Unsheathed Sword against the one who insults the messenger by Shaykh al-Islam. Again, one of the 28 most revered, most influential, most important scholars, most learned scholars of Islam, Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah. The book is the Unsheathed Sword against the one who insults the messenger, and I'll show here the very first entry within the index. Whoever insults the Prophet is to be killed, whether they are Muslim or a disbeliever. So to disparage Muhammad is to insult him, and the penalty is death. Killing is prescribed on the one who insults the Prophet, and it is not permissible to imprison or show favor to him or to ransom him. Any Muslim or non-Muslim who insults the Prophet is to be killed, and repentance is not sought from him. I'll do one more reference from the book, actually two, but this one. The contents of this book concern the Islamic ruling upon those who insult Muhammad, right? And so this is the purpose of this book, to discuss the Islamic law on those who insult Muhammad. So it mentions again.
But okay, now the issue is that insulting the Islamic prophet is a different thing than just talking about the fact of his life, what he did.
There's a quandary in Islam. There's a quandary in Islam. So I'll go for a minute. Then we need to look at some questions. I'll take a few questions from the from the chat. So first of all, there are multiple attestations I can go through within the Sharia. It is illegal for a Muslim to think any ill of Muhammad, right? First of all, so the first is, I'll mention, this is the one ruling here. This book is entirely detailed, but scholars have consensus that whoever insults the messenger, who attributes a defect to him, then such a person is a disbeliever. And that Muslim who insults is killed. There is no disagreement. This is the view of the 4 Imams. So all 4 schools...
Okay, so wait, just hold on. This quotation is very interesting. Scholars have, that red is way too bright. I can't really see behind what's written.
Sorry, let me just change the... I'm going to change that to a different color then. I'm going to change it to orange. Give me a second.
Okay, because I can't read what's written there.
Okay, my bad. I will alter the color in just a moment, and you should be able to see it now.
Okay, scholars have consensus that whoever insults the messenger. Now, insulting is, oh, it's interesting that it's defined attributing a defect to him. Then such a person is a disbeliever, and that whoever doubts such a person disbelief, they too are guilty of disbelief. Oh my goodness, that's the Muslim who insults is killed.
So to believe that Muhammad
There
is
being
less
no
than, to
disagreement.
not believe Muhammad is perfect, is blasphemy. To fail to believe that
Wow,
Muhammad is perfect.
that's very interesting.